You know what the big deal should be? The mega deal should be protection of our everyday residents who pay the highest property taxes in the country.
All right, so tell us, this is your first time as a political candidate. Here we are less than 2 weeks out. Why are you the best choice for the Republican Party?
Well, I've been working on building a coalition. I'm a son of immigrants, Ecuadorian mother, Polish father, so I understand how Chicago operates for a lot of people. I've been building a coalition with the Hispanics, evangelical Hispanics in Chicago. I've been working with the Slavic community. I've been working with the black community who's very upset about Pritzker's illegal immigration policies and preferencing illegal immigrants over the black population. I'm the one that's raised the most money across the board in Chicago, downstate, and of course Dick Uihlein, the most conservative donor. I've gotten the strong support of groups like the Illinois Family Institute. So I think I've built the best coalition, and I think that's what it takes to beat Pritzker. We've got to be broader in who we are than the traditional just Republican base, and I'm that person to do it.
All right, so deportation raids that happened this past year, what's your stand? Where are you on that?
Stance is Governor Pritzker owns that problem entirely. His welcoming plans, his welcoming policies, his support of the sanctuary state, sanctuary city, invited more and more people here. His spending of all that money on people did. His name calling of the federal law enforcement, he called them jackbooted thugs, he called them terrorists, Nazis. He has created a big problem here. If he had simply cooperated with federal authorities like they do in Florida or Texas or Tennessee or Indiana, we wouldn't have had the mess we had. Governor Pritzker is responsible for that big mess.
What about the sanctuary state status? What would you do?
Oh, we should get rid of it. We have to take care of Illinoisans first. I mean, that's key. And I'm a son of immigrants. I love immigration, but I love controlled borders, closed borders, law and order. Take care of Illinoisans first. And so get rid of sanctuary state, get rid of sanctuary city status.
Are you all in Donald Trump?
I'm a big supporter of Donald Trump. He's done amazing things, as I mentioned, at the border. He's done school choice in the federal bill. He's trying to bring back manufacturing, which we urgently need here in Illinois. He's bringing down crime. I think he's doing a lot of the right things. But I always say in Illinois, he can't fix our problems that have been created by Governor Pritzker. Highest property taxes in the country. Trump can't fix that. You've got the second highest gas taxes. Trump can't fix that. The companies leaving. Trump can't fix that. The Bears leaving. Trump can't fix that. That's on us to fix. And as your governor, that's what I want to work on.
About the Bears, what would you do if you were the governor?
Well, this governor should have done something before, right? We lost Caterpillar headquarters. We lost Citadel headquarters with Ken Griffin. We lost the Boeing headquarters. Pritzker has made a mess of this state, and that's why the Bears want to leave. He's created a toxic environment for businesses. I will create a winning environment where companies want to be here. They need to be here because we're an amazing state. We just have a toxic business environment.
But what about those public polls show that the public does not want to give public money to a private business like the Bears?
Oh yeah, listen, I want the Bears here. I love the Bears, but we don't need to give public money. We pay the highest property taxes in the country. We can't be giving deals to big companies, whether it's the Bears or big companies, and not everyday Illinoisans. The big deal, you know what the big deal should be? The mega deal should be protection of our everyday residents who pay the highest property taxes in the country. I have a plan to cap property taxes at 1% of home values, like they do in Indiana. That's what we should be doing. The deal should be for our people, not for big business.
So how do you keep the Bears here when they're asking for the money?
We want to make sure that we do the right public infrastructure, right, which is public, which is shared by the public. We'll do that. And then we create an environment, a winning environment for the Bears to be here. But we have to be careful that we don't keep putting taxpayers at risk.
Credit upgrades. There have been some. Are they real?
No, they weren't real. They were all done by COVID money. We had $200 billion in COVID money come into the public and private sector during the COVID period. And that boosted Illinois for a while. But guess what? Chicago is now getting its downgrades because Chicago's in deep trouble. And the money's gone. The free COVID money's gone. Now they're in trouble. Illinois is in trouble too. And it takes somebody with financial experience and policy experience like I've got to turn that around. Pritzker has not turned that around at all.
How do you fight him with the war chest he has?
Well, look, he only won 54.9% of the vote. It's not like he won by 60% or 65%, 54.9. There's people not happy with him. They're disenfranchised. You know, the black community with the illegal immigration. You've got Hispanics who don't like his anti-family, his DEI values. You got suburban moms who've seen their parental rights, parental control taken away. I think there's enough Pritzker fatigue. Third term, he's focused on the presidential race. I think there's enough people for us to bring together 50% plus one to beat him. even with all his money, because we have the facts on the ground, we have the moral standing, I think, in this case.
All right, what about crime? Is that still a huge issue? Will that be an issue?
Crime is still a huge issue. I mean, we should celebrate for a minute that we went from 800 murders to 400. Guess what? 400 murders, we're still the #1 in total murders in the country for the 14th year in a row. And tell the parents of the 400 tell the families of the 400 people murdered that crime is okay again. No, 400 murders is still crazy. We have to focus on getting not crime down, but we need a safe Chicago. That should be the ambition, not just lower crime, but a safe Chicago.
What have you, as a student of politics, because that's where you've studied all of this before, you've seen a Republican governor, Rauner, lasted 1 term. How do you work with the Democratic majority?
Well, what was interesting about Rauner ran a good campaign the first time around, but he ran a horrible, governorship. And the problem that he had was that he thought he could outmaneuver Madigan. He thought that he would outsmart the public unions. And he forgot to bring along the public with him. So he stopped campaigning. That's the difference that you have to have, is that you have to bring people along with you, even when you're battling the legislature, because I think there's enough Hispanics who see what's happening in their schools, the black community in their schools, the crime we just talked about. Pritzker's created no net new jobs since he took office. No net new jobs in the private sector. You've seen the other states balloon and blossom. So there's a lot that we can do to change things, but we have to work together. And it's not just against the legislature. You have to bring the public and keep winning the public to support our policies, because we're right on the policy.
All right, let's say you are the nominee. What is issue #1 you bring to the people right away, March 18th?
Look, number one, safety, because I want people to feel safe, and they don't feel safe. And so we do the right things, executive orders, et cetera, to stop the sanctuary state policies, cooperate with the feds. And number 2, I want to get the 100 states' attorneys who oppose the SAFE-T Act to join again together, and let's work to repeal that. So that's day number 1, we start that process. The other big thing is exposing where all the money's going. Nobody's happy right now in Illinois with their taxes. And we keep having more deficits, and we're going to get the downgrades soon more. We have to expose where all that money's going, and then ask the people, what do you want to cut? How do we get your property taxes down? Get rid of the fat, waste, fraud, abuse that we have all over the place. And I'm good for that, because that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. I know where those bodies are buried.
His budget, is there anything that you've seen in that budget that you've said, wait a second, how did this get included?
Oh, I mean, my gosh, I had a press release and people tried to ignore it. The massive increases, the same things that they're worried about in Minnesota, we have those massive increases in our budget, and nobody's done an audit of it. Nobody's called for an audit besides me. We should have an audit of that stuff. And of course, I can look at higher ed, massive expansion in administration, Chicago public schools, massive bureaucracy in administration. I can show you all over the place where all that money's going. We have to attack it to protect taxpayers and bring down. I mean, they were burning their property tax bills in the west side of Chicago recently. That's how bad it is.
All right, so what would you want to, what's your elevator speech? What's one last thing you want to make sure that you've included?
Look, we should be a top 5 state in this country. We should be one of the best states for job creation, for economic growth, for wage growth, for education, and we're not. We're a bottom 5 state. I want to change the mentality and the culture of this state and this great city, and make us a top 5 state. And it takes a different kind of person. You have to focus on the data, you have to focus on the numbers, and you have to bring people together. I'm building the biggest coalition, or the best coalition there is. I can do it. Let's get Governor Pritzker out of office, and I promise we'll get back to having a great state again.
Thank you so much.